You're listening to the Oneofus.net podcast network. Can't this be the last Transformers film instead of the last night? I'm just saying.
No, clearly fucking not, Chris.
Well, because this movie is, like I kept calling it, it's Transformers, the backdoor pilot. Because half of this movie is just, we're setting up for the spin-offs.
Yeah, we're setting up for the spin-offs, and for the next sequel, Michael Bay swears he's not going to direct.
Once again, would be the second time he said he's not directing. Or is it
I
third?
actually think it's the third time.
Just, honestly, all we want is for you to, keep your promise.
You can go away.
Yeah, just do
Michael.
Not that I think anybody else is going to do a particularly great job with the series either right now, and as long as it's under this production company, I'm feeling it's just going to be somebody trying to be like Michael Bay.
Right, and that's definitely one way to look at it, because I don't know. I have all of the feels.
I'm Chris.
I'm John.
Matt
has strong feelings about giant robots in general.
I spent I took me half an hour to drive home after seeing this movie because I saw it way up in Pflugerville and I live way out in Manor. I spent half an hour in my car screaming at no one.
To be fair, it's a half an hour minimum from your house to anywhere.
It's true. I live out in the sticks because that's all we could afford. Oh, yeah. But anyway.
Yes. All right. So
to the movie itself.
The movie, which I'm going to say it, for me, this is the best Transformers movie. Not counting the animated film. And the reason for that, and the reason for that is one that is specific to people who don't know anything about the Transformers or really even care that much. Because I don't know all the references that are going on. When there are people like in the audience like, oh, they reference something that they haven't referenced before from the original animated series or comics or something. I'm like, I don't know what that is. All I know is this is the most what the fuck on fire batshit of the Transformers films. And that alone was enough for me to go like, oh yeah, no, there's no question. It's a fucking terrible movie. Whoa. Like maybe it is indeed even worse than the others in terms of like any sort of continuity or written humor.
Continuity, what's that?
It's just, it's just so consistently insane. Like another critic, Devin Faraci, wrote a thing online that made me laugh out loud where he's like, let me just sum up like 10 minutes of this movie for you and know the whole movie goes this way. Okay, so they end up inside of a old World War II submarine that turns out to be a transformer, and then it goes into the water along with their murder bot butler who decides after trying to kill them that he's going to launch himself through the torpedo tubes and to get tuna to serve them a romantic sushi dinner.
Oh, that's right, that happened. See, that's the thing about these fucking movies is... Okay, so, as I said, I have a lot of strong fucking opinions about Transformers. I've worked on the franchise, I've worked on the comics, and I've been a fan of Transformers since I was a kid, and it's just like, there are...
Pain.
I'm finding
like
the words.
Be a big blinking red pain around your head.
Pain. So, okay, here's the thing. Right before I came over here, I was hanging out with our friend Jeff over Rage Select, and we were talking about these movies, and he brought up something interesting that I actually think I agree with him on, which is, in concept, I like aspects of these movies. It feels like if you could decouple these 5 separate screenplays that are going on at once, you would have 5 really interesting, cool episodes of a Transformers series or something. Like in this movie, but that's the thing, is that this movie, same problem as the last movie, there's like all this shit going on that's all... Oh my god, I'm making myself tired.
That's the thing, is that shit that, you're right, there's just way too much shit going on. But in the fourth movie, it's so fucking banal. It's so like the worst.
3 hours.
The worst, over 3 hours. It's like the worst, most banal Michael Bay film in that it's a military thriller with everybody like, oh, and the camera spinner, and look at this screen, it's doing this thing. And none of it is even mildly interesting because it's all kind of banal. We've seen it all a billion times before.
Yeah.
That's why I like this one better, because we definitely haven't seen this crazy fucked up shit before.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean... There's an interesting, again, there's like this, the movie starts with this big flashback sequence to King Arthur's time.
Yeah. Narrated by, of course, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
By Anthony Hopkins, who, I'm going to be honest, Anthony Hopkins is the best fucking part of this movie.
He is good.
He's not giving a shit. He's not giving a fuck. He's just like flipping off cops and stuff, rolling around with his C-3PO sidekick,
walking around with cane guns.
With his cane at that. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little choked up when he busts out his little cane he's been walking around with. Turns out it's a Cybertronian gun, and he starts shooting at Megatron. Megatron just blows his ass up. I don't know. We're doing spoilers. Who gives a shit?
I guess it's too late.
Do we want to edit that out? I'm sorry.
I'll just call it a spoiler review, because honestly...
I'm sorry. I've been needing to get this out of my fucking body all day.
Most fans are either going to see this the opening weekend, or there are people who are just like, I'm never going to see this movie, but would rather have us spoiled for them anyway.
Yeah, so. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun on that.
That's all right. Pain.
Because, like, and I actually want to see an entire movie of... I didn't see that new King Arthur movie. I didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah, I was assured that this is a better King Arthur movie than that.
I would watch an entire King Arthur movie with drunk-ass Stanley Tucci Merlin. He's Merlin, and he's drunk, and he goes stumbling up to the Cybertronian ship like, we need help beating the Saxons. And it's like they kept trying to tell us that the war between the Brits, the ancient Brits and the Saxons was somehow saving the world from darkness. Oh yeah, the Saxons. This is the guys living in the mud huts.
Meanwhile in Egypt, they're like just smoking a doobie and hanging out. I don't know what's going on. They give him to just go as much as we can into a synopsis here.
Yeah.
They give him a magic Cybertronian staff and go, here, that'll control the magic Cybertron three-headed dragon that'll come and kick ass.
Which is also 12 guys.
Right.
Yes. Which I kept forgetting about.
Yeah, they're like what's the robots that turn into a big robot? They're Voltrons.
Well, they're kind of basically. The Transformers have had combiners for a long time.
Okay.
Devastator, Predaking.
Who's the guy we see in here who does that?
Well, there's two guys. There's the Dragon, which is ostensibly his name Dragonstorm, and then there's Infernicus, who's combined out of the Infernocons, who are, I believe, a new creation, because it's like you couldn't just use the Monstercons or the Terrorcons. You had to create something completely new.
New toys.
Yeah. No, I'm going to buy them. Just shut up.
That's it. You should be ashamed, Matt Frank.
I'm not going to lie.
Money to this franchise.
I'm not going to lie.
Oh, man.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. These movies make so much fucking money that they allow for other, better Transformer stuff to be made. Like the Transformers, the cartoons, and the comics.
There's been a game or two that has been
There's some
pretty
really good games. Yeah. Fall of Cybertron is super fucking good. They... Give me that look for.
I'm sorry.
It's a good point.
I have doubts.
But see, that's the thing. Your reaction is also the fucking... The double-edged sword of this, because your main exposure is these shit-ass movies.
That comic book run from like 2 years ago was pretty good. I read like half of that and I really liked it.
Which one? Was it more Meets the Eye with Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus? And
you're asking way too specific.
Okay, with red car and yellow.
With red car and yellow truck.
Okay, I will maintain that James Roberts' run on More Than Meets the Eye is one of the best licensed comics ever made. If you want a story about politics and gender fluidity and fucking socio-political commentary, and it's all through the frame of alien robots who are all gay, I am 110% serious. Don't look at me like that.
You're a really well-known and accomplished comic book artist, but it sounds like you've never read any other comic books.
Oh, no, I've read them. I'm just saying that this is the good one.
All right, well, let's go back to the movie here before we get too carried away with all the sides.
Sorry.
That's all right. We could have a whole podcast just about that, clearly. In fact, I could just say Matt Frank could have a whole podcast just about that.
I just need to just make that an episode of Giganticast so I can finally have a new fucking episode.
There you go.
But anyway, go ahead.
I agree. So all this, to skip into the middle of the film, basically, that early thing ties into, there's a whole society of the descendants of Merlin, the Witwickies. Yes, we're going. Witwickens.
Which made me want to tear my face
Which is who, what's his face, is Shia LaBeouf was one. And even though, why he's not hanging out in the scene, I don't know.
Well, because... fucking look at him.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Anthony Hopkins is like the last. He's like, I'm one of the last of them, and I run this group, and we're looking for the person who will be chosen to be the last knight that will get beside the last descendant of Merlin, who ends up being the chick they got because she looks like Megan Fox.
Michael Bay has a type.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah, he's like, well, you'll be my Tippi Hedren, I guess.
Yeah,
she would play Peter Quill's mom in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Laura Haddock, that's her name.
Yes,
Because
she looks just like Megan Fox. It's
yeah,
bizarre.
and I have something to say about that really stuck in my craw. There's a moment in this movie, because, if you want to go to see a Michael Bay movie, you better gird your fucking loins for some fucking, you want your women to be objects? Here's the movie for you. Because they make her, she changes out and outfits at one point.
Of course.
And she comes in this beautiful, she's gorgeous, she's a beautiful woman, and she's wearing this sexy ass dress, and it's clear that the Bay was like, no, this is for the guys and me to fucking jerk off to later and all that stuff. And then our hero, Mark Wahlberg, says, well, you look like a stripper.
Yeah, that bothered
then he
me too.
shamed, they put her in this outfit, and then they shame her for it.
Well, he's such a douche to her, and then the moment he takes his shirt off, she becomes a blithering idiot.
That pissed me off too. That
But
was dumb.
anyway, so yeah, Anthony,
I had to get that out of my
and Mark
system,
Wahlberg,
sorry.
who's reintroduced back after the first. I know we have to jump around more than the movie does. Like in the beginning, because like in the place that the final movie had the big war zone is now just a closed off zone where there's still some leftover with some life in them Transformers hiding out, because the entire American government, for reasons I'm very unclear on, has decided all Transformers of whatever stripe are bad.
It's not like the Autobots have saved the world four times before this.
And, so Mark Wahlberg's basically living near there and helping out the remaining Transformers. And then there's a little girl that serves absolutely no purpose in this movie.
Absolutely pointless.
Yeah, who's in there, who they spend way too much time following in the first act, only to completely abandon her until halfway through the third act.
She doesn't even get to do anything in the end of in the final
Her
battle.
and Gerard Carmichael, who I think is pretty funny in what he's given, just trying to make something work at the beginning, and then he also is just like, who cares?
So yeah, Mark Wahlberg ends up being the knight because he finds a dying old school Transformer, and it gives him like a symbol that you're like, whoa, that's a symbol that was on Excalibur, King Arthur's sword, when he got the magic sword, because that's smart Transformer tech, and it starts like basically caressing his body.
It's all slipping over
It's all
him
slipping
and stuff,
over.
and
It's
I'm like, what are you doing?
Ooh, yeah, there
What are
you go.
you doing?
like
It's
that.
go down. It doesn't go down his
It goes
pants.
down his pants at one point. You're just like, okay.
It's a symbiote, apparently.
Yeah,
It's just Venom
apparently.
from Spider-Man
You
3.
don't know what it is, and of course, when it ends up being a thing, of course, it's fucking Excalibur when it becomes necessary. It's
He
just
uses
like,
it once.
Yeah.
He doesn't even really use it. He just shows
He
it
plays
off.
defense.
Yeah, he blocks.
Yeah.
He saves.
Sure.
Keep talking. Just keep talking. I've got to.
Yeah, there's like one
myself.
scene it becomes unuseful, and even then you're like, physics!
Yeah, I mean,
but
well,
there's a
it's
Michael Bay film.
magic and whatever.
Him getting tied into Mark Wahlberg getting tied in because of this thing, because he's the last knight and she's the last descendant of Merlin, and they got to team up because Cybertron has some evil snake-haired woman who we're kind of like, huh?
Not explained.
Like
Yeah,
not
no,
explained.
wildly
You're just like,
unexplained.
what? He's like, oh, I made you. I'm your god. To I want to say Megatron, but he's
I'm a
bad guy.
woman.
To Optimus Prime,
Yeah, right.
And she's like, no, I'm the creator, and like Earth is Omnicron, which I guess was actually
Earth is Unicron, and
Unicron.
that's just thrown out there.
Right.
Yeah, which
That's
is a big deal, right?
Fucking deal.
Okay, see, that's what I
Unicron
don't
is
care
the
about.
end-all, be-all
Yeah.
of nearly every Transformers. Every iteration of the franchise ends with Unicron.
they're just
Like,
like,
Earth
here it is.
itself is Unicron, so we got to go to Earth with just take our whole planet.
As
to
you do.
Earth, and we're gonna, I don't know, do something because Unicron is our enemy. And she's like, beep to Optimus Prime. He's like, no, I'm Nemesis Prime.
I have red stripe.
Yeah, exactly.
Red stripe, hooray, and a John. Okay, I got that out of my. I'm good.
And so it's the planet crashing first into the moon, which, by the way, end of
That
all
would've been-
life on
That's
Earth.
done.
Yeah, I don't think they destroyed the moon, but they
But
definitely
just enough
fucked
to
it up.
crash into it would be it. That'd
Yeah.
be they're taking giant chunks out
Throw
of
our
it.
rotation out
Yeah,
of whack.
and then literally, like you're like, oh no, it could kill us, and you see it at that moment as they're talking. It's literally crashing through the atmosphere. And you're like, once again, end of all life on Earth.
Doesn't it scrape across Hong Kong at one point?
It's like literally, it's weird, tendrily like hive-looking things are like scraping through the ground. You're like, End of life on Earth already.
That's it.
Movie over.
That's it.
But it's there like, we've got to team up because we've got to get the useless, not Megatron, Optimus Prime, back to his old self because he's our hero, even though he does nothing of worth in this entire film.
He shows up at the very end.
Pretty much.
And doesn't really do anything.
And we have to get back the staff of Merlin because that's the only thing that can Bodaba. Viruses and something, I don't know.
Oh yeah, and Megatron is in this movie.
Yeah.
For like, again, there are elements to I'm sorry, I keep having to collect myself. There are elements to this movie where I'm like, I would see that movie. I would see Drunk Stanley Tucci Merlin movie. I would see a movie about a kid who's living in Transformers Warzone and all of her Transformers buddies.
Yeah.
That would be a cool movie.
Cool.
I would absolutely watch a movie about Megatron putting together a fucking Ocean's 11 of these... Because that's just it. He's lost all of his major lieutenants. Starscream, Shockwave, Soundwave, they're all gone. So he's got to go get these punk-ass gangster Decepticons. And I would watch a whole movie just about that, about Megatron having to work with these dickheads.
Even the Transformers themselves kind of seem punk-ass at this point. You're like, you got what, John Goodman with a cigar for some reason? I'm like, you're a robot. What is that?
That's another problem I have. If you have to speak about the sexism, I have to speak about the subtle racism, and then the kind of hood... thuggish Transformers. Why do they wear chains and and they talk in this just grotesque voice that is just like it bothered me the entire time.
Your ass.
I mean, it's almost like it felt like it was going out of its way to make us like Bumblebee the best because he's the least annoying robot. And not because his spin-off is the next thing. Once again, backdoor pilot, there's a sequence thrown shamelessly in the middle of this, where like, check out this scene where Bumblebee fought during World War II against the Nazis.
It's like the scene in Batman v Superman. It's just like teaser for next movie.
Exactly.
And it's like, I guess we're throwing our continuity out the window because I thought that
even from within this series.
Yeah, exactly. Because and I think I explained this to you before. Like, the messing with the lore doesn't really bother me because Transformers throws out its lore every couple of years anyway.
Sure,
and
reboots.
Just reboots. It's the fact that there's no continuity here, and then when you bring that up, people will be like, what do you expect, man? It's like, I expect a little something better from a franchise about toys that's already had better stories.
Yeah.
And at least a little sense of continuity.
Some degree of effort in the writing. Because almost every joke in this movie falls so flat, there's an audible thud.
You weren't laughing your ass off when the old women downstairs thought that Mark Wahlberg and... hang on. Laura Haddock were fucking loudly upstairs.
That was one of the most mishandled attempt at slapstick sequences I've ever seen in any movie ever. Neither was I laughing at the antics of Butler Murderbot 3000, who was like... apparently some people liked him. I suspect someone read the Darth Vader comic book series with like evil C-3PO, because it seems like he's pretty much Murderbot C-3PO. They even call him C-3PO at one point in the fucking movie. But he's just, he doesn't, his motivations doesn't make any sense. He goes back and forth. He's just so annoying.
I kind of laughed when he was playing the music, though.
That was I
like that.
The sequence where he's like playing background music for the exciting speech, and they call him on it, and you're like, okay, that's
kind of fun. It's a crafted joke.
There you go, 20 seconds out of 2 hours and 30
was the one funny part of the whole film, other than all the times I was laughing at just how batshit crazy this thing is.
A couple of times, I had to see the movie in 3D, and a couple of times I was so... flabbergasted by what was happening. I just took my glasses off and just was like, I just had my face in my hands. And so I'm just like, this is my life now. This is just what life is.
We have not mentioned John Turturro because he's barely in this fucking thing and serves next to no purpose. Neither does that matter. What is the guy from Veep who's in this?
Oh, why is he in this movie?
Yeah.
Why is he in the tregs?
Tony Hale, who plays like a computer expert or something, who just complains.
Yeah, that guy.
He just complains for
the whole movie,
and
then I guess he was supposed to be funny on paper, but I can't detect any discernible jokes he was making. So
I just want them to cut all of this military government shit out of these fucking movies. I don't care.
That was John Goodman.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh.
And fucking
He didn't look like John Goodman.
And Academy Award nominee Ken Watanabe is still Drift. I guess he's okay with being a racist caricature of himself.
Okay, here's what I want to know. When did Bumblebee get the power to re-assimilate like the Iron Giant?
Oh, yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. All of a sudden, like right off the start, his method of attacking a group of people was to throw himself at them till they blow him to pieces, then all the pieces separately attack him, and you're like, that was never in any of the other movies.
Yeah.
One, and two, don't you think he would have, told the other Transformers, dude, you have to go in the Apple Store and download this. It's fucking amazing. I'm just saying, it's not like, oh, this is the only version of this there is. If they all had that, it's like, well, it's over. They won.
Yeah.
It made no sense. It's never explained or even referred to.
It's like it's the sort of thing you'd think would be a gimmick for a toy. Yeah. I don't think any of the toys do this either.
Yeah, or how they could.
Well, I mean, I guess you could do something with magnets or something, but that actually.
But how do they work?
Cool. I was trying to purposely avoid that. Like, I could see the Junkions in the original 1986
the name of one
movie.
Of the things in here, the Junkions.
Well, the Junkions are from the 1986 movie.
So is the guy in here his whole transforming thing was that he has a bunch of shit on his back in the first scene?
He was basically a Junkion.
It's like what what do they call him? Is like his name is like Cover or something. It's like, yeah, that's my whole thing. I got a bunch of shit on my back.
No, I don't remember one. I don't even fucking remember. I saw this movie 7 hours ago, and I'm already forgetting parts of it. I forgot that guy. I hated his character design. Also, why are there baby Dinobots? Where the fuck did they come from?
I kind of like the baby Dinobots.
Yeah.
They were cute.
They were adorable.
They were cute. Honestly, I just want to know where they came from.
That's like I said in the original film, they have a giant robot with a flaming sword on top of a giant metal T-Rex, and it's boring as fuck. The Dinobots aren't interesting at all in the fourth one because they don't really have any character of their own. Here, they're like, let's make them like big, playful dogs.
Yeah,
and they're a lot more fun. Even the big T-Rex is like, he plays like a dog, and he's actually fun when he's on screen.
Cough up the police cruiser.
Yeah,
that was. I agree with you in that they're a little bit more fun. Except it's like the Dinobots proved to be this great like Hail Mary pass twice. They chase off the government guys and they chase off the Decepticons. And they're having all this trouble with this final battle. And I'm like, boy, I sure wish we had some giant alien dinosaur robots right now.
Disappeared. But, I also found it weird. Like, okay, so they've got there's obviously several little Transformers, most of them being very annoying. But at one point, like one of the Autobots, the good guys, I guess, they finally went, oh, look, it's another one of these, and fucking destroys it.
Just smacks like a bug.
I'm like, what the fuck? You just murdered a Transformer without even thinking twice about it.
And that's something they never really established, is that there are different Cybertronian species. There's not... There's like... They have different... But again, they never established that.
Yeah.
They never established that, like... I guess now they're saying Dinobots are technically their own species now. They're not really...
I don't think they're saying anything. They're just
putting shit on the screen.
They're just throwing shit at the screen. Yeah, I
having it blow up.
It's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I will say, one thing I really hate about the previous films in the series is whenever there's combat, I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on. It was just looked like a close-up of a car wreck. And this is one of the first ones that actually I thought on that level did it pretty well. I was like, I can actually tell what's happening in all these fight scenes for once. And some of the fight scenes are pretty cool. I was like, that was neat. But then they go on for 25 minutes and you're like, okay, already. And then you remember, oh shit, if they stop fighting, they're going to start talking. Okay, you fight.
I mean, Prime did have a pretty cool I'm not going to lie. Having sat through 10 years of this shit, 10 years. Damn. Let that sink in. I've been wanting to be in a Transformers review with you guys since the original movie came out, and I was in college.
Your time has come, and all you had to do was sit through Transformers the last night.
All I had to do was sit through another one. And there was a moment when Optimus Prime... it is a pretty cool moment, so I don't want to spoil that, not like everything else. He whips his sword around, and he does this cool thing, and I'm like, okay, that was actually kind of cool. It's stupid, but it was kind of cool. And then there's a moment when he transforms, and I'm like, yay!
It's funny, though, that moment at the end where, like, you see his truck coming out, I was like... your transforming vehicle sucks.
Yeah.
You've got like the worst transforming
You got
vehicle
the
of
biggest,
anybody.
slowest crap truck.
Yeah.
I mean, but
You know,
it's
the thing
Optimus
is,
Prime.
and
Can't really
I
do
know
anything
as well, everybody loves Peter Cullen because he's been the voice of Optimus Prime in all the cartoons and everything. But it's never more clear when he's interacting with actors like Ken Watanabe and John Goodman that he's not much of an actor. And
He's
it's
got
like,
one range, and that's platitudes.
yeah, and it really shows he's more strongly here than it even does in the other films. Like, oh God, your speech is fucking painful to listen to.
He was, he was in a recent. They had a recent animated series, Transformers Prime, and he was Optimus Prime in that series. And that series really was kind of taking the aesthetic of the movies and applying it to a pretty well-written, well-structured show.
As opposed to the movies.
And it is very interesting, though, that the one thing I did notice is the way he's written in that show, he speaks almost entirely in speeches. It's like he doesn't really talk. All the other characters are talking, and then he'll come in, give this protracted speech, and then leave.
See, what they should have done is have that happen in this movie, as it does, and then a giant robot shark comes from off screen and eats him at the end of the speech. I may have just rewatched Deep Blue Sea.
Sharkticons. Sharkticons.
Are there seriously
those-
not?
yes.
Oh, there are. Okay,
Cool.
They're more shaped like giant piranhas, but whatever.
Whatever.
I got the new action figure, and it's kind of cool.
I bet you do.
It's got a chumpy bit.
Yeah, soon you'll be able to make a house out of your action figure collection.
I'm working on it.
All right, so we've been on this for almost 30 minutes. Let's go to final thoughts. Jonathan Romo, will you please start us off?
It gets a star because Anthony Hopkins is pretty good. It gets a star because I like when Bumblebee's voice does something funny. Like he used Big Sean's "I Don't Fuck With You." I laughed at that.
I don't even know what that is, so.
It's a rap music.
It's a rap music
It's
that
a
the
rap.
kids are listening to.
And another star because Dinobot babies are cute. So 3 out of 10. Cars.
Cars.
Essentially, really throughout this whole movie,
Yeah.
I was just kind of, when shit would pop up on screen, I would just be like, sure, whatever. Like, nothing really got me jazzed about it. I really just felt like, I'm in it. I'm already here.
Shrug the movie.
Shrug the movie.
I'm going to let Matt go last because obviously he's going to go last regardless of what happens in the order of this thing. So he probably still has a few things he needs to get out. So I'll just say pretty much right there, this is, I give it 1 for Anthony Hopkins, even though, once again, he's in the giving no fucks mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I almost feel bad for him, but at the same time, he really does not give a fuck. He's like, man, you know how much they pay me to be in this thing? Fuck it. It's not like I'm ever going to see it.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I'm going to give it 1 for the baby Dinobots, once again, because they're really adorable, and 1 for the sheer what the fuckitude of, like, just somebody approved this script. It so doesn't make any sense on just so many levels. Not only in context with the other films, but, like, just in by itself. You're like, oh man, this has to be like, what's the reverse of the blacklist? I don't know, but this was probably on the white list. I don't know. This should be the whiteout list.
Oh,
This is a mess. I give it 3 Cybertron cigars out of 10.
I like it.
Matt Frank, please take us out.
Take us out.
With your
All right.
final
Well,
thoughts.
I feel like I've expended all my energy. Oh wait, I've got a Red Bull right here.
Oh God!
Hang on.
Strap in, John. Hour 3.
No, I'm going to try and keep it succinct.
Matt Frank's
'cause
review will actually go longer than Transformers 4.
I actually feel kind of bad because I feel like I bulldozed you guys a little bit because I just had all this energy to get out of my body. And here's the thing. These, again, like I said, there's interesting ideas in these movies. As a fan, I see where they're pulling ideas from, and I think, oh, like, I was actually hoping this was going to be a movie about an evil Optimus and them having to get Megatron to like help them more, like, because in the comics right now, Megatron is a good guy.
Yeah.
He traded in his colors. I'm not talking to you. And
No, that kind of shit happens in comics all the time. It's
I
like they
know.
made fucking Cyclops the X-Men a bad guy. And you're just
Sure.
like, Wait, what? And now Magneto's a good guy, and the world is upside down. man.
everything I know is a lie.
It's all just wrestling, guys.
That's true. I don't know what you're talking
Captain
about.
America is a bad guy now. What
He's
the
a
fuck?
Nazi now, or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I really could probably go on for another like hour and a half, but I've gotta, I'm gonna
cast.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do a gigantic cast. I'll do a gigantic cast where I'll just scream into a microphone for an hour and a half. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
I'm gonna give it one for the opening sequence with King Arthur and Merlin. I just was so fucking charmed by that. I just want that movie. I'm gonna give it a half for fuck it. I'll give it one for the overall visual aesthetic. The robots actually looked pretty good for the most part. I liked the character design, even though I could actually, this is how deep the rabbit hole goes, I could tell the elements of character models from pre-existing movies they then cannibalize and use for new characters. Like they used Shockwave's head and stuck it on the body of Bone Crusher or something like that. It's
Damn.
fucking... Anyway.
I got nothing.
And then I'm probably going to give it a half for... Man, she looked really good in that dress. But
You're worse than Mark
I
Wahlberg.
don't appreciate how she was treated, though. I'm giving points for her.
She's a
actually,
professor.
I actually liked her character, that they kind of tried to give her an arc.
It's like
and it felt
Transformers
like
The Last White Knight over here.
I'm gonna leave. Okay, so I'm gonna give it 2.5 swatted Insecticons.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a movie that I genuinely hope that most of you will have the sense to stay away from. Don't give them money for this. Don't reward them for this. Please, I beg of you. Like, I mean, I can't say, like, you're going to be one of those, oh, now I have to see it to see how bad it is. Okay, great. Steal it.
You know what? I'm not saying...
No, don't steal it.
I'm not saying that I paid for Wonder Woman and then snuck into this. But I'm not saying...
Yeah, you could, you could get one of your friends to, like, leave that exit door open a crack.
This has been recorded this whole time, right?
Oh, fuck. Turn it off. Turn it
Oh,
off.
God.
Oneofus.net has been your one-stop shop for all things geek for years. But there's a side to them many of you have never heard. The subscription side. Subscribe and listen to great podcasts like The Breakfast Pub, The Original Gentleman, and the Watch a Movie With Us series. Head on over to Oneofus.net and don't forget your towel.